All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Friday lunchtime, almost the weekend. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in on our live stream around the country. Thanks for taking time out of your schedules on a Friday to come listen to me. My name's Rob. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. And for the next 45 minutes, we're going to be discussing who DuePoint is and what we do. And hopefully you'll have some clarity about the opportunity that we're going to be speaking about this lunchtime. Okay, so let's begin. DuePoint, we're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's Constantia's building in the background that you see there. That's their logo. They're actually based down the road from us in Randburg, so not too far away. They are a registered insurance company. So there's only a few registered insurance companies in the country. Constantia is one of them. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. Constantia has been around for a very long time. They were founded in 1952, so they've really been around for almost 70 years, a very reputable company, a very successful business. We're actually listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under another business called Conduit Capital. You'll notice in our foyer we've got all our accreditation and our FSB licenses on display above the water cooler, so go out there, take a look at those. We've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, our FSP license, and accreditation with the DSA and the DMA, the Direct Marketing Association, the Direct Selling Association. It's very important for you guys at this stage of our presentation to start building up some credibility. Is that me? Some credibility with the business that we're going to be speaking about, right? It's a very fundamental step in any partnership that you look at, that you trust the business that you're going to be potentially getting into partnership with. These are the individuals here at DuePoint. The three characters on the far left are registered chartered accountants. Brendan, who you saw ushering everyone in, he likes to tell everyone to move up over in the corner here. It must be an accountant thing. He's our head executive or our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. Their family's been entrenched in insurance his entire life. His father's a very reputable figure in the insurance industry. He's a professor of insurance. He started Clientele Life and the IFA. Brendan and his brother Stuart, they founded PMD, which is Prime Meridian Direct, a very successful short-term insurer based down the road. So they've been involved in insurance all their lives. Tim comes to us from a corporate banking background. He was at the First Rand Group. He had a very senior position there. We were very lucky to bring him aboard, and then Stacey supports him in a lot of his roles. So together they oversee all the auditing aspects of our business, the financial aspects, as well as the regulatory aspects. Stacey's got a lot of experience locally and abroad in auditing with Deloitte. And then the two non-accountants over here, Jane and myself. Jane's on study leave today. She's got exams, and so do I next week. See, we're trying to be accountants. We're trying to catch up to the accountants. So Jane and I are studying. But Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is obviously fundamental to our business because this is how we market our business, through direct marketing and selling. And Jane's got a lot of that experience. She's actually from the UK. She's been in South Africa for about 10 years. So if you speak to her, you'll notice she doesn't have a lisp. She's actually got a Yorkshire accent. And then myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising most of my working career. I started a digital agency fairly early in my working career, at I think the age of 23. It was the mid-90s, and I started a digital agency which I ran for about 20 years until I eventually exited that business and joined the team here at DuePoint. So our mandate here, these individuals on the screen here, our interest is to support our wealth engineers. We want to see our wealth engineers being as effective and successful in this business as possible, because DuePoint as a business can't be successful or profitable unless our wealth engineers are successful and effective. And so everything that we do in this business is to support you in that role, right? So again, it's a very fundamental step in looking at any partnership. You need to at least have common interest with the people that you're partnering with so that we can collaborate towards a common goal. And the common goal for both of us is to be successful, financially free, profitable, successful, right? Okay. So why are you here? How many guests do we have in the room? Okay, good, great. Okay, welcome guys. Always happy to see guests. So what's the premise of being here? Why do you find yourself in this building in a business called DuePoint that you've probably never heard of before on a Friday lunchtime when you could be doing other things on a Friday lunchtime, right? We look at behavior that drives this interest in some entrepreneurial opportunity that you've probably been told about. So the person that invited you, I would have assumed that they alluded to the fact that there's financial opportunity, right? They didn't just offer you free tea and coffee. They said there's opportunity to make more money, right? And you were interested in that, right? But the behavior that drives that, because like I said, we would much rather be out doing something else, maybe having lunch or taking a break for an hour, but we find ourselves here. And there are two aspects that we like to discuss, and I'm going to discuss them briefly. And the one is the economy, because the economy is certainly a driving factor towards our financial position in South Africa, right? So we get a lot of statistics from the FSB, the Financial Services Board, that paint a picture of what personal finance looks like for individuals in South Africa. And it's not a great picture. It's fairly dismal. And this is driven largely by South Africa's economy. And the economy is not in a great state. The economy's growth is sitting at 0.3%. I think it's gone up a little bit. I think 0.3% was last year. But there's very little growth. I mean, if you look at any successful business, they're pushing for 10, 20, 30% growth annually, whereas our country is growing at less than 1% annually at the moment. And this, this doesn't bode well for our future, because we've got unemployment figures that are sitting at, I think, 9 million unemployed people that are able and willing to work or sitting at home, not able to work. We've got so many youth coming out of school. I think it's nearly 1 million kids matriculating every year at the moment, coming into the workplace and not able to find jobs. And if there isn't any growth, that problem is not going to be solved. It isn't. Okay, so this paints the picture for us, along with all these other aspects. So we know that the economy affects us individually. And I can tell you, it affects you in the way that maybe you didn't get a raise in your salary every year for the last 5 years. Because inflation's going up every year, right? Or it doesn't go up, but it stays the same. But the cost of everything goes up every year because of inflation. So if your salary is not keeping in line with inflation, which is a 7-8% increase every year, your salary is actually devaluing every year. We've got interest rates that affect us. So if you've got debt in your life, and I suspect we all have debt, some form of debt, right? When interest rates go up, your debt becomes more expensive to maintain. Cost of living. Food inflation is sitting at 11%. It means food is doubling in price every 7 to 8 years. So we have the squeeze that happens, right? When your salary is devaluing, you've got debt being more expensive to maintain, you've got the cost of living increasing, you're actually going to start running out of money more and more every month. And South Africans find themselves in the cycle where you're trying to survive. So we're almost a reflection of the economy, right? The economy as a whole is trying to survive at the moment in South Africa. And we're not unique. There's lots of countries like us. But we're in survival mode. And it forces us to live in the cycle where we live month to month to month, maybe in an annual cycle. But this is all that we do. And we fail to break out the cycle to start planning ahead. And debt makes things a lot worse for this position that we find ourselves in. So we typically afford a debt at a very early age. The moment you start earning something, you have a salary, you can get debt quite easily because a financial institution will go, oh great, you earn a salary, I can depend on you to pay your debit order every month, right? So they happily give you various loan instruments. They also offer us savings and investment products, but we don't engage with savings and investment products. We typically go for the loan instruments, like credit cards, personal loans, educational loans, car loans, home loans. We engage in all these different forms of debt. And this cripples us. We don't realize it, but I'll show you how debt actually starts to cripple us in this position. And then very few of us start engaging in savings and investment products. Okay, so the statistics that we get from the FSB says the average South African only starts engaging with savings and investment products when they're in their 50s, which is far too late. Far too late. Because when you're in your 50s, what are you a lot closer to? Retrenchment. Sorry, I mean retirement. They're the same thing, right? Retrenchment and retirement's the same thing. The result is that you don't get a salary at the end of the month in either instance. Okay? So we have this thing called retirement that is looming, bearing down on us. We don't realize it. When you're young, I see a couple of the younger people in the audience, you don't realize it in your 20s. It's not too important to you. But when you start to get older, you start to realize that you're going to be in this position where you're going to be retired and not earning a salary, and you know that you're going to be living for 30 years, if you're lucky, if you're healthy, in retirement where you're not earning any money. And so the older you get, I think you start to get a little more panicky and a little more aware of what your retirement situation is going to look like. So to show you what typical retirement scenarios look like, we got this data sent to us. It was on the Fin24 website late last year, so you're free to go take a look at it. This data, or the article that it was published, was really predicated on the rising mortality rate. So we know that South Africans, the world, everyone, is living longer every year, right? Because of the increase in health services and technology and medical advancements and stuff. So currently people are dying on average in South Africa at the age of 74, ladies. The men die a little sooner, right? I don't know why. But they reckon kids being born today will live past 100, okay? So this has a great effect on your retirement planning, because if you're retiring at 65, and people that were retiring, let's say 20 years ago, they were only expected to live, on average up to 74, maybe 80. But now, guys in the room now, especially the youngsters, you're probably going to live close to 100. So you need to adjust your retirement so that you're able to support yourself for now 30, 35 years. Okay, and this is what this data is based on. It's saying, well, now we've got a much greater mortality rate. How are we catering to that? So take a look at the three figures at the top. They illustrate to you how much you could earn if you save a certain amount of money. So if you've put away R1 million in a cash investment of some sort, it'll pay you out 5,000 Rand a month. Okay, so this is what retirement savings is all about. You're going to save money towards your retirement or a pension scheme, whatever it is, and by the time you realize that investment can start paying you out money. So you're retired, you're not getting a salary, you now depend on this cash investment, and R1 million will pay you out 5,000 Rand. But the R1 million will run out in 30 years. So you have to die at 90. You can't live past 90, right? This is the gamble that we take. This is the gamble that we all take. This is all a gamble. To get to this position, to find yourself in this position where you've got R1 million cash investment, you can start doing that. So if you're one of the youngsters in the room, you've got 40 years to put away 800 Rand a month, and that'll put you in the position where you have R1 million saved after 40 years. And this 800 Rand has to increase every year in line with inflation. So the contribution has to increase by 7% every single year. Okay? So 5,000 Rand a month is certainly not dignified. I don't think anyone has aspirations of retiring on 5,000 Rand a month. You're going to be living in a caravan park, right? 26,000 Rand is a lot more dignified. So this is something you should certainly look at. But look at how much money you need to save. You need to put away 4,000 Rand a month for the next 40 years without interruption to be in a position where you've got a 5 million Rand investment that then pays you out the 26,000 Rand a month. Only for 30 years, then it runs out. This is not the solution I'm going to be proposing to you today. I'm not going to talk about retirement savings. We'll talk about something similar, but something that's certainly more leveraged and gives you far more opportunity to put yourself in a better position in a much shorter space of time. Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing. And so out of all of this, the DuePoint system was created. We as a business, as an enterprise, saw the opportunity to create this platform for the average South African to engage with, to give yourselves an opportunity to get out of what 98% of the population is experiencing. Only 2% of South Africans get to retirement financially independent. 2%. So there's 25 people in the room, none of us. None of us are going to get to retirement. If there were 100 people in the room, only 2 of them. 2 of them out of the 100 will get to retirement happy. The rest of us are going to be downscaling our lifestyles so that we can afford to get by on the 5,000 Rand a month or whatever we're going to be getting. We're going to be depending on our children and our family, so we become financial burdens to them, right? So you want to see this cycle of impoverishment, of debt, now passed on to your kids. And that's why it does. It's so hard to break out of these cycles because it has this latent effect where it gets passed down generation to generation. And so this is what we want to change. And it's the opportunity that we saw as a business. So the DuePoint system, we've got 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. We actually have 3 goals for the guys, the people that get involved in this business. The first goal is to see you become debt-free, because debt is crippling. We don't want you to be the person that waits till they're in their 50s to start engaging in investment. It's too late. It's too late at that stage, right? We want to see it happen sooner for you. And by doing that, we try to reduce your debt as quickly as possible. And if you can get rid of debt, you'll see the effect that it has on one of the slides later on. Our second goal for our wealth engineers is to now start investing properly. Invest in something, invest your time, invest your money in something that you can build on month to month, year to year, something you can look forward to in 5 or 10 years' time, or whenever you retire. It might be 20 or 30 years' time. Something that you can work towards. Unfortunately, it requires a decision now. It requires a responsible decision now, way in advance, to realize that reward at the end of a long term, right? Not short term, not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. We're talking 5 to 30 years. And then the third aspiration is just to see our wealth engineers happier, right? Can you be happy at the end of the month? We're happy at the end of the month when the salary comes in, and then a few days after the salary, after the debit order's gone off, then we're depressed for the rest of the month. Then we're trying to survive. You see the cycle? We're in that month. And we're all the same. It doesn't matter how much money you earn. It doesn't matter. You can have some of these people here living in Bryanston that are earning 200,000, 300,000 rand a month. They're in the same position. They live beyond their means. They live beyond their means, right? So everyone is in this position. So those are the 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. So our guests here this afternoon, you've got the opportunity to join DuePoint, right? And when you join DuePoint, you actually contract with us. And when you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers, a very appropriate term. And as wealth engineers, we only want you to do one thing, and that's to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what one of those look like. But into these channels of distribution are really you introducing people to us, and we will attempt to place product with the people that you introduce to us. And that's basically how this business works, right? The benefit for you guys is that you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. And this is obvious. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here. So through this additional income stream, this is how you're going to pay your debt off faster. Right? This is how you become debt-free, financially free, is through an additional income. The system's not designed to replace your salary. We want you to still be employed, but create this supplementary income stream. The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income stream. Now, this is one of the biggest benefits of this business, because recurring income is an awesome thing. My father said to me when I was a very small boy, he said, get involved in business one day that pays you when you're sleeping. I didn't know what he meant. I had no idea what he was talking about, right? I only realized after being in business for 20 years that creating recurring income is actually very difficult. It's very difficult, okay? Especially if you're trying to do it from scratch. It's easy to go buy a property for R1 million and then have recurring income from the rental that you get from it, right? But you had to have the R1 million in the first place. So in my business, I couldn't create recurring income because we were a trade services business. We had account managers, salespeople, designers, and programmers, typically in my business. And we would have to go out every month and look for business, do the production, and then invoice for it. But I invoice time. So anyone, whether you're a hairdresser, a lawyer, a doctor, it doesn't matter, an accountant, you are all service-based individuals that sell time, and you're limited by the amount of time that you have in the day. It's not something we can change. So you're limited by that. So in my business, I was limited by that in the fact that at the end of every month, I started at 0 again. If I didn't do any work next month, I didn't earn anything. Guess what happened when all the staff went on leave in December? The business created no money. I would spend the whole year building up a fund just to get through December and January in our business. And that was the cycle that my business was in. We weren't able to create recurring income. Insurance companies are different this way. They create recurring income because they have products and policies in place that pay on a monthly basis. So you guys are able to reap the benefit of that. So the effort that you put into building these channels of distribution don't pay you once off. They pay you in a recurring fashion. So you can put in lots of effort in 1 month and it'll pay you. Month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5. You can be in a position in this business, let's say in 5 years' time, where you can take 3 months holiday and you'll get paid every single month while you're on holiday. You won't have to worry about your business. It's a great position to be in, right? You get to harness the power of duplication. So this is you leveraging your time because time is very limited, right? We're talking about a business that you're going to have to spend doing in your spare time. So we leverage your time as much as possible. These channels of distribution are actually teams that you're going to be building, that you work with, that you collaborate with, that now If you've only got an hour a day to spend in this business, but you've got a team that together are putting 100 hours a day into your business, but you're going to reap the benefit of those 100 hours, right? So you're not a one-man band in this business. It's flexi time, so you get to dictate how much time you want to spend in this business. I warn people at this stage, don't think that you're going to be successful in this business if you only do it when you have spare time. You won't be successful, I can tell you that right now. You have to contribute a routine to this business. So by the end of this presentation, if you feel that you're interested in this opportunity, I want you to have decided what time you're going to sacrifice for DuePoint, for your business, right? It's your business. So what are you going to spend your Saturdays? Does it become every Saturday? Does it become every Tuesday and Thursday night? What does it look like? How does it fit into your life? Because it's not one of these New Year's resolutions where you just decide, oh, I'm going to start going to gym. And then you go when you kind of feel like it and when you can, because you won't be successful doing it that way. There's no startup capital, so there's no registration fees in this business. We don't have boxes of product that you have to buy to get going in this business, so it's a very low risk business endeavor opportunity. There's no qualifications or experience required. This is why Jane and I are studying, because we need certain qualifications to work within financial services, and that's why we've been studying for the last year already to fix that. You guys don't have to worry about any of that, right? We actually contract you of all those obligations, so you don't have to worry about any of that, and you can still reap the benefit of being involved in financial services. You get to build an asset. Now, this is very important because I've just said to you, I've just proposed to you that I want your spare time. I'm saying to you, for your spare time, at least have ownership over this thing that you're going to be building, these channels of distribution. You have ownership over them. You've got legal tender over them. You can sell your business. You can move it into a family trust. You can give it to your kids one day. You can give it to your beneficiaries if you die sooner than you expected, right? So you've got this flexibility. It flies in the face of employment, because we that are employed will work for 40, 45 years for somebody and someone else where we've got no ownership. We've got no profit share, no shareholding, no equity in the business, no say in the business, but we dedicate our lives to someone else's business. In this business, you're going to be investing in something that you own, right? It's yours. There's no selling involved. This is a great thing, right? How many of our guests were worried that they were going to sell something or be asked to sell something, right? I bet your first question to the person that said, come look at this opportunity, said, what's the products? What we selling? What we selling? What we selling? What we selling? There's no selling involved at all in this business. This is a great thing because most people aren't very good at selling. Right? It's a very specialist thing. And this business serves to be accessible to everybody. So we've taken selling out of it. We actually contract you out of selling. So like I said, there's no boxes waiting behind reception full of vitamins or muti or whatever it is that some of these other places ask you to sell. So this business is very convenient. We make it as easy as possible to get involved with. And this is all through building these channels of distribution. So that's you in the middle there. What you're going to do is build channels of distribution by telling other people about the business opportunity. That's all you're going to do. You're only going to be speaking about business opportunity. And when you're successful in that and you get people to come and sit here in a presentation like this and we're able to place a product with those individuals, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. The beauty of it, the power of duplication that takes place is that your business is able to grow organically. Because you only spend time introducing the first 5 people. But those 5 people that came to the presentation, they're going to leave going out and doing the same thing, right? So now suddenly you're going to have other people joining that you were not involved with, and so on and so forth. So over time, this is what your channel distribution can look like, right? You're getting paid for every single person that has a product that's now joined your channel because of your initial efforts. So like I said, you can be in a position in 5 years' time where you've got a channel this size that's paying you out a recurring income, and you can take 3 months of leave and you'll still be paid for the size of your channel of distribution that exists. Okay, so that's what it looks like. This is our disclaimer slide. I've kind of warned you already that this business requires routine time to be successful in. A lot of people often come to a presentation like this alluding to, or at least thinking, oh no, it's one of these get-rich-quick schemes. You know, I've been to these presentations. There's a scheme. They're going to tell me, put money down, buy this, buy that, and then they promise me I'll be rich. All right. First of all, at the beginning of the presentation, I told you we're a 70-year-old business. We're one of the few registered insurance companies in the country. We've got very reputable individuals that work in this business. We would never align ourselves to anything that looks like a get-rich-quick scheme. I mean, it's illegal, first of all, right? The FSB would shut you down very quickly. And second of all, I would never promise you that being successful in this business comes easy, because it doesn't. Nothing in life where you want to be successful at comes easy, right? Nothing. Think about it. Your marriage, you've got to work hard at your marriage. You've got to work hard at being a parent. You've got to work hard to pass matric, go through university. Nothing comes easy. Anyone that promises you these get-rich-quick offerings, put money here and you're going to be rich next month, they're lying to you. It just does not exist. It doesn't exist. And it's the same in this business. We've created an equal platform for everybody. You have the opportunity to get involved, but take something from me. Put lots of time into this business if we want it to work. People get very excited about this business, and it's easy to get excited about something. It's a lot harder to commit 2, 3, 4, 5 years to something to see it become successful. And that's what we want. We don't want you to get involved like a New Year's resolution and then disappear after 2 weeks. We want you to get involved, and if you're really involved and committed, we're going to become like family. We are, because you're going to be seeing me a lot. I'm going to be seeing you a lot, and I'm probably going to meet your family, and we're probably going to go on holidays together. That's the time commitment we're talking about, and that's where success lies, right? So I need you to focus on 5 years' time or 10 years' time. Don't focus on the frustration, the learning curve that happens in the first few months, even a year, to get this business going. Focus beyond that, and then you'll get through the first year. Okay. So how do we pay our wealth engineers? We pay our wealth engineers something that's called a return. The return is based on the product that you have in your channel. So we pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. Okay, and that's subject to where the product lies. So take a look there. Those are the first 5 people that you introduce to the business over there. They lie on your first point. Okay, these are people that you know personally, that you personally brought into the business, and we pay you double the R27.50. So people on your first point, we pay you twice as much as R27.50. We pay you R55, in other words, for every product. And remember, it's recurring income. So that's what we pay you every single month going forward. So it's R55 for every product every month. On your second point, these are people that your people went out and got. These lie on your second point, and on your second point, we pay you again R55 for every product every single month. And then the multiplier starts to drop. So people on the third point and the fourth point, and the further people get away from you, the smaller the multiplier begins. So by the time you're on point 8, you're getting R1.10 for every product, right? But we don't limit you at point 8. So from point 8 onwards, we will keep paying you for every product that gets placed into your channel. So we don't limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint, and we don't limit you on how much you get paid at DuePoint, right? This is very important, because if you're looking at staying here for 5 years, how big is your channel going to be after 5 years or 20 years? There's no limitation in your earnings. So that's the mechanics of the returns. Fairly straightforward. And the next natural question that we get is, well, how much money can I earn? Give me an idea of how much money I can earn after 6 months or 2 years or 5 years. Okay, so we put together this thing called the path to success. It's purely an example. It's based on a growth formula called 3 plus 2. So it assumes that you become a wealth engineer, you can put 3 people into your business in the first month. And then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in another 2 people. Right? So 2 people every month going forward. It's only 1 person every 2 weeks. Okay, not too onerous. If you can filter that behavior through into your channel, and we've taken into consideration people that cancel, people that don't build, people that don't have money in their accounts. Those are the negative aspects of running a financial business. We take that into account. You can expect to earn about R2,500 after 6 months of doing this business fairly successfully. So a lot of people might think, well, R2,500 doesn't sound like a lot, but I want to take you back to the issue of debt, right? Because it's our number 1 aspiration for our wealth engineers. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. We don't want to see you earning money here and wasting it on shoes and lunches and clothes and handbags and whatever else, right? That's very easy, and that's very short-term satisfaction. So for a long-term point of view, put money into the debt that you have. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. So we have this example of a person with a R1 million bond, right? They got a house, they went to the bank, borrowed money from the bank, R1 million. The bank said, okay, pay me back over the next 20 years. You're going to pay me back, what, 11,500 Rand a month on the current interest rate for the next 20 years. So if I'm in my 30s and I buy a R1 million house, I'm only going to finish paying my bond off when I'm in my 50s. right, for the first time. With some success at DuePoint, 6 months later, you're now earning 2,500 rand. You can take the 2,500 rand and put it into your bond as an additional payment. If you do that, the consequence of doing that will reduce the bond term by almost half. It'll reduce it to 11 and a half years. So now you'll only be 40-something and you will have paid off this house. You save yourself R1 million in payments. R1 million you save yourself in payments with that little 2,500 rand, right? This is the consequence of debt. This is being on the wrong side of debt. We want you to be on the right side, or should I say this is the wrong side of compound interest. You want to be on the right side of compound interest, where you're earning interest off of the assets that you have. So get rid of the debt as quickly as possible. By 12 months, you're nearly 100,000 rand, or in excess of 100,000. That's 108,000 rand annually that you've created for yourself. After 24 months, you're on nearly 30,000 rand a month. Right? You notice how it goes up every month. Try ask your boss for a raise every month. Impossible, right? You beg for one once a year, just in line with inflation. Please, can I have a raise? Just 7%. You have the opportunity of increasing your income every single month in this business. After 36 months, you're nearly 50,000 rand a month. There's an example of someone with a 5 million rand bond, right? He's probably earning about 36,000 rand a month through DuePoint. If he puts that as an additional payment into a 5 million rand bond repayment, he'll reduce the term from 20 years down to less than 7 years. Right? 7 years. That's a great example, because I always picture myself in this example. I think, well, I've got about 20 years left until I retire, so call it 21 years. I can do this exercise 7 times, right? 3 times. So if I do this 3 times, it'll take me 21 years. The effect of it is that I own 3 properties of 5 million rand each after 21 years. And that's the retirement that we want you guys to start looking at. Right? The difficulty in it is that you've got to plan so far in advance. So far in advance, 20 years in advance. And you've got to go through the pain of committing to this business once a week to change your life. You keep going. Where are we? 48 months. 48 months, you're close on about 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, you're close to, or about R1 million annually that you've created for yourself. Right? This is empowerment. This is true empowerment. Right? This is financial freedom that we're talking about. But this is all an example, because it's based on what the accountants built, called 3+2. It's purely an example. You can join this business, as I said, get excited about the business, join the business, and then you don't commit to any time every week, and you end up doing 0 + 0. Right? And then you'll be nowhere at the end of the month. You'll be nowhere after 36 months, and you'll be nowhere after 60 months. But you can do more than that. You can do more than 3+2 as well. You don't have to do 3+2. Do more than it. If you've got more spare time, do it. It's up to you. We've got lots of wealth engineers that do more than 3+2. They've shown us that they can do way more than 3+2. So Mavuma, he joined in November. Within 3 months, he created 5,500 rand for himself a month. How much money did you have to have in the bank to create a 5,000 rand income? 1 million. You needed to have saved 1 million to make that amount of money every month. Remember I said, you can talk about residual asset values, but it's hard to get residual asset values because you have to go buy them, right? Like a property or whatever. Here, he's created in 90 days, he's created 1 million rand equivalent of a cash investment for himself. In a single month, he increased that by 20%. Look where it's sitting at now. He hasn't had to work harder every month. He's just working the same amount of time. He's just growing the asset value every month of his business. Okay? And this is the beauty of this business. It's great business compared to the business I ran for 20 years. I get frustrated with myself thinking about it, thinking I wasted 20 years where I actually built nothing after 20 years. I was just like a hamster on the wheel, just chasing 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, starting at 0 every single month. Here's Donnie. He joined us right at the beginning of the launch of this division, so in February. And you see how steadily his income is still growing month after month. Again, he's not working more every month. He's just putting in the same amount of effort every month. He knows how much time he has to put in every month, but his asset value is growing in his channel of distribution, and it's paying him out a greater recurring income every single month. Here's Patrick and Pumi. They joined a week after Donnie. Look at their figures, right? So you can be anywhere on the spectrum. Like I said, we've got wealth engineers that earn nothing, and we've got wealth engineers Like Patrick and Pumi, you got paid 83,000 Rand 3 weeks ago. 83,000 Rand put into their bank accounts. That's a great SMS to get from your bank. Right? Not the one that your debit order went off. And again, their recurring income is increasing every month. And again, Patrick and Pumi aren't having to work extra hard every month. They're just putting in the same amount of time every month. And they contribute a lot of time to this business. There's no other way around it. Right? You can't be lazy about this business and hope to be successful. You have to work hard. You have to go through the pain of trying to make a business effective and successful for yourself. And we, like I said, we've got hundreds of wealth engineers that are creating income for themselves. I mean, you can do it very quickly. You can do it in the space of a few days. You can start creating a little bit of income for yourself. You know, you might not need the 70,000 Rand a month. You might be quite happy with just the extra 1,000 or 2,000 Rand every month. You know, you need to decide what it is that you want out of this business. So that's the returns. That's what we pay our wealth engineers every month. On top of that, over and above the returns, we've got something called a rewards program. It's called the XP Rewards Program. It basically rewards you for being a good wealth engineer, right? That basic. It actually poses as a training system for us so that we can incentivize our wealth engineers to get stuck into the business and learn about the business. But in turn, what it does is actually rewards you along the way. So when you engage in normal wealth engineer behavior, like coming to presentations, logging into the website, bringing guests with you, we give you points. We give you these things called XP, experience points. And when you start collecting more XP and your business starts to grow, we give you rewards on top of what we're paying you every month, right? So here's the table that illustrates the full XP Rewards program. If you join today, you'll be a rank 0 wealth engineer. But very quickly, you can get to rank 1. You only need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your channel, right? You can do that in 24 hours. You can get double that XP in 24 hours, but you need to find 4 people that take out a product. And that's also very possible. So within a day, you can be rank 1 and you'll be earning a return at the end of the month, right? But on top of that, we'll give you a 55 Rand reward. And the more success you have in this business and the more activity that gives you XP, you start to rank up. So then you become rank 2 and you get 100 Rand. Then it's 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. That's the check that Patrick and Pumi got 3 weeks ago to supplement the return that we gave them, right? So they're already at rank 10 after 12 months. We give away tools that help you be more effective in this business. So everything that we give, we don't give it away, you earn it. But everything that you earn in this business is always geared to you being more effective. Always. So we've got a little lightning memory stick. This little device plugs into everything. Cell phones, tablets, laptops, computers, plugs into everything. But more importantly, we've got all our video collateral on there. So Patrick and Pumi can show people the business regardless of what device they have on them or the other person has on them, what time of the day, where it is, right? It makes them a lot more flexible in terms of showing the opportunity. At rank 7, we give you these premium business cards, luxury business cards. They cost us 12,500 Rand a set to manufacture. There's no printing on that card. The logo is gilded in gold. The edges are gilded in gold. They're about that thick. You can see them in the merchandise cabinet. Go look at them. They look like little blocks of gold, right? But why do we do that? Because people typically haven't heard of DuePoint. So when you go speak to someone about DuePoint, this wonderful business opportunity, they don't have any bearing, right? There's no brand of DuePoint that everyone in South Africa knows about. So typically they'll be a little hesitant. But if you give them a 12,500 Rand business card, a business card that costs 20 times more than their business card, they'll take you more seriously. I promise you. They'll give you a little more time to explain who and what DuePoint is. At rank 9, we take you and your family on a luxury international conference that we have. It's business class tickets for you and your family, 7 days away to a luxury resort, all expenses paid, trip that DuePoint pays for, and this everyone has the opportunity to get to. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to rank 9, because the behavior is exactly the same. Nothing changes, right? So take a look at where we're going. This is happening at the end of the year, so you guys have got lots of opportunity to get there. And there's no time limit on this. You can take as long as you want. We've had individuals get to rank 9 in 6 months. You can take 6 years.
All of your wind
Up to you.
has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dream.
So the wonderful thing about rank 9 is that it's a recurring reward, right? The other rewards are all once-offs. When you get to rank 9, you're going to enjoy this conference that we have every single year with your family. Every single year for the rest of your life, as long as you maintain rank 9 status and beyond. So think about that. You're going overseas, a business class trip with you and your family for a week every single year for the rest of your life. That is life-changing, right? Not only for you, for your family. It opens your children's eyes to what is possible out there. And that's, I think, what we take on as parents. You know, for the older people that are parents, that's what you want to do for your kids. You always want to give them the best opportunities. And this is an opportunity of opening up their eyes to the experience that they get to go on. All right? At rank 11, we give you a car. And the beauty of this car is that it doesn't have a debit order that comes off your account at the end of the month. We really want you to be debt-free in this business, right? So we do everything that you do. You'll see everything. That common thread in this whole business is trying to help you become debt-free. And this is only rank 11. You saw the table went up to rank 20. Rank 20. That's why I say we speak long-term. Behind the scenes, we've actually designed the program up to rank 28 already. We think 20 years ahead in this business. We've got something that we do every month. It's another benefit for our wealth engineers. It's called the Wealth Quest, that little pink WQ over there. And really what we do is we just issue a challenge out to our wealth engineers every month that they get to engage in. And if they conquer the quest, they get rewarded with whatever's on offer that month. So it's called Young Guns this month, and we've challenged our wealth engineers to bring 2 individuals under the age of 30 into their business, right? It's hard to get youngsters into this business because they seem to know more than us older dumb people do, so they don't listen to us. So we've challenged our wealth engineers, bring 2 people under the age of 30 in this business, help them get qualified, which means they've got to get 3 people each into their businesses. And if you can do that all in this month and have all those payments happen successfully this month, we'll give you a big smart TV at the end of the month. And that's not to watch Game of Thrones on or Generations. That's to plug your USB stick into and show people the DuePoint opportunity, right? We always give away tools that help you be more effective in this business. So that's this month's Wealth Quest. This slide basically just illustrates the business model that we've adopted. So that's a traditional business model like PMD down the road. They engage a lot with traditional forms of marketing and advertising. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building because we don't do a stitch of marketing or advertising. Right? We depend on our wealth engineers through word of mouth, through referral marketing to tell people about this business. So we don't spend the billions that other insurance companies spend on client acquisition through marketing and advertising. We take that portion of our premium and we pay it back to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards, and that's how our business model works. Okay, so what are the products? I'll go over the products fairly briefly. They're quite straightforward and simple to understand, I think. They've got very different benefits. We've got 3 products. And because their benefits are so different, you're free to look at taking out one product or all 3 products. So the first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. It's only 299 Rand a month, of which you keep 100 Rand. It actually goes into a tax-free investment fund every month. And we give you a little bit of insurance with this product. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you're killed in an accident or killed in some form of crime or whatever the case is, we'll pay you out 110,000 Rand to your beneficiaries plus whatever's in that tax-free investment. And that's not a notice deposit. You can draw that investment out at any stage. It takes about 72 hours to process the withdrawal. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is purely an insurance product. So this is only insurance. It's 274 Rand, but this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. And our personal accident cover is applicable to anyone over the age of 18. So you can be 90 years old, 80 years old, doesn't matter what your health status is, your premium remains 274, you still get a benefit of 1.1 million Rand. Okay, but remember, it's personal accident cover. It doesn't cover you in the event that you die through disease or natural causes or whatever the case is. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club. This product aims to try save you money on the money that you're spending every month anyway. Okay, so it's 274 Rand a month, and you get to engage with those listed suppliers there. So we've gone to those listed suppliers and negotiated discounts with them that you wouldn't get on your own. So if you're part of the Wealth Points Buyers Club, you get discounts with all those partners. Like I said, we're trying to save you money on the money you're spending anyway. So look at groceries. We've got ShopRite Checkers there. You get 2.5% off your full trolley at ShopRite Checkers every time you go shop there. It aims to save you money on the money you're spending anyway. So if you want immediate benefit out of any of the products, this is a great product to have. And that list is always growing. We're always looking at new suppliers to add to this list. I remind you of the support that you get here. Like I said, our mandate, those people I introduced you to at the beginning of the presentation, we're here to support you. Everything we do is to support you, right? So my point is press into the support that you're getting. Don't become a wealth engineer and disappear. We want to see you. We want to see you using this auditorium. You can use the meeting rooms for your own meetings. You can have business meetings here. You can drink all the tea and coffee that you want because it's for free. There's free Wi-Fi in the building. We've purposely set up live streaming so that you're able to build your business outside of wherever you are. So if you're in Johannesburg, you're free to build your business in any town in South Africa because we're literally in every single room around the country through the live stream. Right? So use the tools that we've provided. The decision slide, we're at the end, guys. The decision I want you to make is if you're interested in this business, I would like to know that in your head, you've already decided, right, to make this business work for me, I know that I can sacrifice so much time in the week to make this business work for me. It has to happen like that. There's no way around it, unfortunately. So is it your Saturdays? Is it Sundays? Is it in the evenings in the week? What is it? I want to see you successful in this business because I can only be successful and profitable if you're being successful, right? So it's in my interest to see you successful at this. I don't want to see you get excited about this, think about, oh, I'm going to go on holiday every single year with the family, I'm going to tell my kids when I get home, and then the excitement subsides because you haven't planned properly to fit this business into your life. We make joining very easy. If you've got your own smartphone on or a tablet with you, we've got iPhones out there that you can use. Get onto the homepage. There's a big blue apply button. Click on that. And you can become a wealth engineer very quickly. It takes about 7 minutes to fill out the application, and you're a wealth engineer. You'll get SMS'd your wealth engineer number, your unique wealth engineer number. It'll get emailed to you along with all your policy and plan documents, and that's you. Now you're a wealth engineer. You rank 1. You rank 0. Plan to get to rank 1 as quickly as possible, right? That's your first goal, is to get to rank 1 so that you can start earning in this business as quickly as possible. We've got merchandise. Please consider looking at the merchandise. It's not a profit center for us. We don't make money out of the merchandise. Consider getting business cards, right? Because if you want to be professional in this business, at least have business cards when you're telling someone about this great business that you're involved in. The memory stick is very convenient for a lot of people because we are very much a data-driven site. Get the memory stick because it's got all our videos on there. So you can give that to friends instead of telling them to watch the live stream or download videos. So it becomes more convenient. Get a pin the moment you start earning at DuePoint. That little black pin that you see on some people's lapels, it means they're actually earning at DuePoint. So they know what they're talking about. Don't go ask advice from someone who doesn't have the pin. Go speak to the people with the pin. And the bigger the pin gets, it means the more successful they are. Right? So keep an eye and get yourself one when you get to that stage. And then we've got some new merchandise, very funky cap in the bottom left corner. So we've got limited caps at the moment. We'll probably get more, but take a look at those. They're also in the merchandise cabinet. We've got a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time we load up a new video. Like I say, we do live streams through YouTube every single day, except for Sundays. And then we've got a mobile app that literally allows you to manage your business, your channel, from your palm of your hand. From that little phone, it tells you everything that's going on in your business. You don't have to open up a computer or a laptop. Okay. So thank you for your time. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. We've got presentations all the time, right? Every single day except for Sundays. It's opportunity every single time for you to bring guests to this presentation to build your business to change your future. Thanks for your time. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll speak to you guys outside if you have any questions.